Yo, what's happening? So, got another video for you guys today. I'm going to cover the topic of increasing your time under tension to build muscle. So, basically, the whole video is about really how to build muscle. What's a good way to build muscle? Now, what you want to do is you want to find a way to increase your time under tension. That's the time that the muscles are under tension, therefore creating a stimulus, a reason for your muscles to grow. If your muscles don't have a reason to grow, then they're not going to grow. And this is a tool that I like to use, guys. There's so many different ways, as you're going to see, that you can actually get this done. So let's dive into it. So the first thing I really want you guys to do to increase your time under tension is to slow down your reps. Now, the biggest thing with this is, for me personally, let's say if you're doing like a bench press or something like that, I like going fast on the positive. And if it's something like a row, then it's fast on the pull. And then whatever the negative is, so the lowering part of the motion. So say if you're doing a bench press, fast on the positive, I want you guys to pause slightly at the top, come down slow. Could even add a pause at the bottom, explode. And I want it to be like that. It's almost like a 2-to-1 is what you could think of it. You can even slow it down more than this if you'd like. So basically 2 seconds, or double the amount of time if you want to say it like that, for the negative. So the negative is the double, and then the positive is the 1, or you can say 1 to 2, whatever you want to say for the ratio. So that means the amount of time that you're spending lowering that weight should be double, if not even triple, the amount of time that it takes for you to push the weight up. So that's a great thing, honestly, that I've tried and I've been doing, is slow down your reps. It makes a huge difference, and it's going to put more stress under the muscle, increase the time under tension, allow you to build more muscle a little bit quicker. So another method that you can do, guys, is, of course, we have here drop sets or rest pauses. Now, drop sets are nice because you can go right into them, and you can go to failure on your first set, drop the weight, go to failure on the next set, and really get a good burn, really get some extra time under tension, really get some extra volume in. Another way that you can do this in a bit of a different way is a rest pause. So rest pauses are really nice, especially if you don't want to drop the weight. So you can do, let's say, 50-pound bench press with dumbbells, max out. I don't really do rest pauses for bench presses, actually. So let's say you're doing something like curls, right? You're gonna do, or even like lateral raises or rear delt flies on the pec deck for your rear delts. What I like to do, sometimes I don't want to drop the weight, but I want to get extra reps. So let's say I really want to get 15 reps, but in one set I can only get 8 to failure. Then what I'll do is I'll rest for 10 to 15 seconds, get another set to failure, which will probably be like 4 or 5. And then I might do that again. And therefore I can get close to my 15 to 20 reps, or whatever, 12 to 15 reps that I'm trying to do with, let's say, 1 or 2 rest pause sets. Sometimes even if you're feeling really crazy and this is a really big top set, of course, if you're doing something like bench press, you can't do a ton of this stuff without a training partner. So you're more inclined to probably do this for things like lateral raises and rear delt flies, things of that nature. You can even do rest pauses and then go into a drop set too. So that's taking it really crazy. That's really going to up the intensity, really increase the time under tension. Another way that you can increase time under tension is partials. Now, this is really where machines can come in handy. A good example, lateral raises. So lateral raises, guys, for the shoulders, this is a really good thing where when you can't get full reps anymore, when you can't get the full rep, a lot of the times I'll just do partials to end the set. So I might do a set of 15. Sometimes I'll do rest pauses. Sometimes I'll do drop sets. And then at the end of a normal set with full range of motion, sometimes I'll just bust out 10 reps of partials, extra burn, extra tension on the muscle, extra stimulus, extra growth. So try that one out. Another big thing, honestly, is that you guys should try going full range of motion. Now, this really depends on the exercise, and it really depends, honestly, on, you know, if something causes you pain. For a good example, I have really long arms. So sometimes I feel a little bit of pain when I go fully down on the bench press. I tend to go fully down, and to compensate, I take a wider grip. Now, I tend to use dumbbells over the barbell. It just feels more comfortable to me, and I just think that in long term, you're going to avoid a lot of injuries by doing this. So for those kind of movements, and even like a Smith machine shoulder press, sometimes you don't always have to go down all the way. Now, I advocate for going full range of motion, but really that one kind of depends. Full range of motion, guys, a lot of the times we want to skimp out on full range of motion. Why? Because it's harder. And because it's harder, we tend to cheat, and we tend to sell ourselves short, and we miss out on gains, and we leave gains at the table. Now, if you go full range of motion, obviously your time under tension for the set is going to be higher given the same amount of reps. It's going to take longer to complete the set. So I would recommend going full ROM, going full range of motion. And just in general, I recommend you guys go a bit higher on the reps. Now, I'm talking more 10 to 20, a lot of the time 10 to 15. For a top set, honestly, guys, I shoot for like 12 to 15. Now, this is where, depending on the day, you can start to bring in these kind of rest pause and drop sets. So if I really want to hit a heavy weight for whatever reason, honestly, the older I get, the more I'm moving away from numbers and weights, the more I am focused on feeling the muscle, feeling the time under tension, making the muscle actually move the weight, not just trying to get strong points and strong reflexes to bring up the weight, but I'm really trying to let the muscle push and pull and squat and whatever all the weight up, because that way I'm going to get more gains, right? So for me, I like getting a good amount of reps, but if for whatever reason I can only get 8 to 10 on that set, this is a good time where to increase my time under tension, to increase my volume for that big top set. After I've done that max heavy weight, I'll then do a drop set, or I might even do a rest pause. So the first set, I might get 10 reps, but because I'm doing a rest pause, or maybe even 2 sets of rest pauses, I might end up getting another 10 reps. Or I might get 5 reps on a rest pause, and I might drop set and get another set of 10. So then that set ended up giving me, in this example, 25 reps. Now, higher reps, obviously, I don't necessarily mean just always cranking out lightweight and high reps, because you still want to lift heavy, but that 12 to 15 rep range seems to be very safe. You can get good time under tension. You can still lift heavy for that rep range. And then if you want to go a little bit heavier, you can then use these other techniques to get those reps, right? But guys, a huge thing that's really going to build muscle that you really got to get in your head is you got to leave the ego at the door. You know, I just got back from the gym recently. You know, since I started training this way, really focusing on increasing time under tension and really focusing on technique, especially what I told you guys right off the start, slowing down your reps. You really got to leave your ego at the door. I cannot do nearly as much weight as I used to do in the past. And honestly, this is something that I'm okay with. It's something you got to embrace. Honestly, it's maturing in the gym. You know, unless you're a power lifter, then of course, there's many different scenarios. But if your goal is to get huge and build muscle and that's your primary focus, keep in mind, time under tension is probably going to be your better friend in this instance. And you will still get stronger. So it's not like you're not going to be strong, but you're definitely not going to push as much weight as you could if you did the technique a bit different. But that's where realizing what you're in the gym for comes in handy, right? So also, I'm going to throw you guys here a couple more points. So what I got here is basically a couple more things I want to cover. So basically, why would you want to increase time under tension? Now, we kind of already mentioned it a little bit, but the big thing is that you can honestly, you can get huge. I train personally for aesthetics. My main goal is to train to be healthy. First and foremost, prioritizing health. And now this really is a big factor mostly in your nutrition, but obviously exercising and doing cardio will of course help make you healthier. But mostly I train for the look. I train for aesthetics. Now there's a bit of a discrepancy when you get into this where people think you either train for strength or you train for looks. Now the fact of the matter is, if you train consistently, if you train hard, over time as your physique gets better and you train for aesthetics, you will indeed get stronger. And the same is true the other way, but you're gonna have more of one than the other. Now the thing is, if you have a lot of muscle, then you will get stronger. Your capacity to gain strength will be strong. It will be high. Now the thing is, you may not be the strongest that you can be, but keep in mind, you're not just trying to push the weight up. You're controlling the weight up, letting it down slowly. It's like your muscles are letting the weight down, and then you're letting the muscle do the full weight up. Obviously, if you want to do a quick push and let the weight drop, then you could obviously do more weight. And then if you wanted to switch to that type of strength training, you would just have to perfect your form to get the most amount of weight possible. So you will indeed get stronger. I'm getting stronger. And like I said, my main focus is on basically developing like a Greek statue physique, right? So that's my main goal. You get huge. You still want your strength, and that's why for your top sets, I advocate high intensity, 1 to 2 sets per failure per exercise. Do like 4 to 5 exercises per body part, maybe 3 to 5, whatever, depending on your recovery, depending on how frequent you train. But your top set guys, you really want to use the heaviest weight that you can to keep the form that you want, and that is key. You don't want form breakdown. You want to be able to do that fast, pause, tight, slow, boom. You want to do that for your 12 to 15 with the heaviest weight that you can for your top set, right? So we're still trying to lift heavy, but we're trying to keep that form. So the heaviest weight for that form. So what are some other benefits? Well, obviously you don't have to go as heavy because you're not rushing through the reps. So this is gonna save your joints in the long term. You will thank me later. Save your elbows, save your knees, save your lower back, save all of your joints. Why is this really? Because when you're using this technique, the muscle does the work. And when the muscle does the work, see the trend here? The muscle will grow. Muscle does work, muscle grows. If muscle doesn't do as much work, there's less time that the muscle is working, muscle doesn't grow as much. So, just to kind of give you guys a little ending here. So to recap, I train for aesthetics. I'm trying to increase time under tension. There's so many different techniques that you can do. You're trying to still get stronger and use the heaviest weight possible for the form that you want to do. You want to keep your reps a little bit higher. You want to make your stimulus intense. You want to go close to failure, if not at failure. For something like chest, you can do 3 to 5 exercises, 1 to 2 sets to failure with your top set. Keep your form clean. Have a good amount of time that during the set, your muscle's actually working, and do your form so your muscle's actually the thing that's pushing the weight up. You're not using reflexes, you're not using momentum, and honestly have high intensity. So that's just what I'm saying here at the bottom here. You want to do about 4 exercises, say for chest, a pec fly, 2 sets of presses, and then maybe another pec fly or maybe another press. You want to hit failure on these top sets. You want to have like 1 to 2 top sets. Or sometimes if you want to have 1 top set, what you can do is you can do a lot of drop sets. So you can do like a double drop, triple drop, or you can do some partials. So it's basically like having 2 sets to failure, but it's back to back. Instead of having a set to failure, rest, set to failure, you can just have an extended set where you have multiple sets to failure with rest pauses, drop sets, or even partials. You can do a full set to failure, and then you can do a set of partials to failure. So technically 2 sets in 1, right? Guys, push yourself. Most importantly, have fun. But remember, you're in the gym to work hard, to work out. Push yourself. If you're a beginner, don't push yourself as hard. As you get better, then you can push yourself more. Honestly, beginners don't even need to necessarily train as intense. You're still going to build a ton of muscle. You got to work on the form. You got to be safe. Then as you get more experience, you can start pushing harder and harder, because as you get more muscle and as you get more experience, it takes more intensity to grow. Whereas when you're a beginner, it doesn't take as much intensity, and you want to be careful not to get injured. And of course, depending on your age, you want to keep these things in mind. And it really depends what your goals are. But I encourage you guys, you're in the gym, put in the work, push yourself, be intense. I hope you guys enjoy this video. It's a new way that I've been training, really focusing on increasing the time under tension. Give the video a like, comment, share, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. Hope you give it a try if it works for you and your training style. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.